Hello, hello. All right, we should be back. I just want to check some settings real quick to make sure that it's good. Computer just completely crashed. Not even blue screen, just froze up. It would not do anything. So let me just check something real quick. Give me one moment here. Okay, so we should be pretty much good. Just want to double check real quick, just a couple more things. Like the audio, I think we're good on that. And there isn't much audio in the game. So anyway, like I was trying to say before I got disconnected, there's a thing called rubber duck programming where you talk to a rubber duck to talk yourself through the program, the problems you're having with the program. And hopefully by the end of it, you're able to talk yourself into the solution. So the idea here is that I don't have a rubber duck. Instead, I have a penguin puppet. His name is Snowball. Occasionally, I'm going to have him out with me. And I also wanted to make sure to show off his full outfit, which is matching RGB snowflakes on a winter coat, which might be a little warm right now, but he's a penguin. He's going to live with it, especially since he's just a puppet. Don't look at me like that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway. And then especially with these matches my expressions as well, such as that one, the tired lines. Also getting a, not the red face, the hard eyes for sure. Might be a little hard to see. Let's get a little closer in there. Yeah. Just absolutely in love with whatever we're looking at. Blushing as well. And a couple other different things in here, like angry. We'll both be angry together. His eyes don't change, of course, because, well, it is a puppet still, so I couldn't quite go that realistic with it. Well, that unrealistic with it, rather. We got the glowing eyes. Becomes a little hard to see on the white on there, on the face. I didn't realize I could make him bigger accidentally. Try to keep the size right. But you get the idea, so. And I could toggle the outfit on and off. And also I could toggle my glasses to just do that if I really want to. Which would be fitting for our stream here if we were hacking, which we're not. We're just working on the game. So I'm going to put myself down in the corner. Probably on this side, so that way I don't block him. Because otherwise if I'm off screen, like on this side, and I lean the wrong way, he's going to go off screen. I'm going to put myself over here. There we go. All right, Snowball, let's get to it. So the idea today is I have a small list here in front of me of things that I want to get done. So I had just finished, let me show what I just finished up. And for this stream, I'm not going to be showing the code. I find that part of coding streams kind of boring sometimes, so I just want to try to get results on screen as quickly as possible. I'm going to switch this to maximized. All right, so the idea here is that we have this game where you're going to be able to use touchscreen controls on a mobile device if I want, otherwise just being able to use touchscreen controls or the mouse. And you push this menu, it brings down the spawn menu. We can spawn objects in, like the bug here, the grasshopper. Grasshopper's going to be able to jump. It's able to walk around. We got some placeholder sounds. I don't know if it's going to be that annoying to walk around all the time. The jump I do like, but I'm just wondering about how loud it should be compared to everything else. I do have music in the background. I just have it turned all the way down for the game because it's kind of repetitive and just literally placeholder. So we're gonna add in something else. I own a bunch of assets that I can drop in at any point, but it's just a matter of figuring out which ones match without being too repetitive or overused in other games as well. So eventually I do want to get into designing my own music and stuff like that, but that's going to be much further down the line at this point, especially on top of learning 3D modeling. And as much as I'm using Unity right now, I want to maybe not switch to Godot, but at least learn Godot and potentially Unreal Engine. I have used that before, but didn't really get into it, so I'd pretty much have to learn everything over again. So the thing that I was most working on is this thing that is a triangle here, which let me just double check you can see the cursor. Yes, capture cursor is on. Perfect. So on here, this triangle is the end point of the level. So there's going to be a spawn point, which is this box for right now. I'm not quite sure what it's going to look like. Based on how they get spawned in or something, I'm considering an animation where a pipe just like spits them out of the top, like above the ceiling or something. Or it would just be, they like walk in through a door or something like that. But the exit of the level I was considering being a little door. So the idea is that you just have to use your bots to go through the level. There's 4 different ones. We got the grasshopper, the lightning bug, the beetle, and the spider, which we'll get to what they do. But the idea is that you pick them and you're able to go through the level. And by the time you reach the end, I just realized this menu is not working. The arrow here should be flipping up to go up, but that's not a big deal. Always something I can fix later. You might see that a bunch of the buttons change color after I select them, like this one, how it's red. They're not going to be red afterward. It's just, I was using that for joystick controls to make sure that they were working, so I could see very easily which ones were selected. But as you saw, I just deleted that bug by destroying it with the destroy button. Now this button here, I have to make sure that that's being replaced correctly, because this is actually the grappling hook for this spider. That's not actually for this bug, so that's something I'm going to have to fix. Let me just jot that down real quick. Probably something like grapple hook button always on. So I'm pretty sure I saw it on the other bugs as well. The idea is that once you pick a different bug, it should swap to be something else. And you'll also see that another button popped up after I created this one. And you see how it changes based on where I am? So that's because this is going to let you swap between the different bugs. You can click directly on them, which it won't let me because there's a different object inside of them. But you can use this in order to swap back and forth. So that was going to be, so that way when you're using a controller, it wouldn't necessarily control the menus here, but you would be able to press, like, say, the bumpers to switch between them. That way you would be quickly able to switch between which one you were directly controlling at any point. So my goal for today is I wanted to work more on, I have to maximize this. So I'll play focused. And I'm just going to bring this down. Actually, it is a UI thing I was working on here. So inside of here, I have a bunch of different pieces, which it's kind of a mess. This project has been going on for way too long, and I am just trying to get it done at this point before I move on to something else. It's an organized mess, as you would expect from somebody who hasn't made a ton of things, and this is probably the biggest, most convoluted one I've made so far, as you can tell by all the different scripts down here. I'm just going to make that smaller, so that way we can make this a bit bigger up here, since that's where it's going to be mostly showing everything. So the idea here is underneath the canvases, I have the level complete canvas, and inside of here, I have this script which would turn on, and then it would do this animation once the level is complete. It says that I took 4 seconds. That's not right. It says I also used 3 bugs, which that is correct. The 4 here for how much time I used is concerning. I don't think that's right. I did have this. It says spent 4, and that should be how many seconds total. Now, the way that I calculate this, well, hopefully, as it's of course not working, the way that it should be being calculated is after I create the first bug, it should start adding time to how long it's been. So I did a datetime.now. So it's going to get the moment in time when it started. And then once the level is finished, you beat the level, you touch that exit point. That's where I have it say, get the end time by being now as well. It's not playing anything because I have a waiting thing popped up. All right, so we see down here. So it should start calculating that time from when I put this one in. So we see here I put them in. And if we wait, let's just say, let's wait like another 30 seconds just so we could see if it's close to 30. But the idea is that it has a start time and end time. I subtract the 2, and then I get back the amount of seconds that passed. I'm hoping I did it correctly. I'll have to double check how I did the math because that might be where it's wrong. But the other day I had a problem of it wasn't even calculating the time correctly, but that's because I had it was subtracting from an uninitialized float variable, which was just giving it whatever data was inside of the location where it was making the variable. At least that's what my Google search came up with, because I was having a very rough time figuring out exactly what was going wrong. So on top of figuring out that, I basically want to spend a lot of time on making that menu look a bit better. So making sure that the end time works. I also want to add in the bonus coin to the level, make it an actual object. And we also need to make a new case to handle the par/bonus/unlocked conditions. So the way that this works is if you beat the par time, you beat the level within the amount of time that I set beforehand, you'll get a star for that. And then you'll get a star for also collecting the bonus coin, and you'll get a star for collecting the, or not collecting, get a star for staying under the amount of bugs that I say that levels should need. And that's how the puzzles are going to work. So you can replay levels to be able to get more stars. And I'm not making it so that way each star has to be obtained in the same playthrough. So say that one time you went through and just did time. Doing it that way, you would get that star, and then you went back into the level and you were just trying to do the amount of bugs. It wouldn't matter how long you took on that mat at that point, because you've already gotten a star for the other one. So I'll need to add in a condition that says if you've already unlocked it, just have it unlocked, and that's the end of story. And after that, we'll go back and look at that grappling hook button always being on. And I'm not exactly sure how many times I'm going to be streaming working on games. This one is actually, in my opinion, kind of boring to watch because there isn't a whole lot of action. The next game that I have planned that I want to make in Godot, I have a lot of things planned out for. Yeah, this says 12 seconds. That's definitely not right. We've been waiting for over a couple minutes now. All right, so I got to figure out that math. So let's see here. This is not the pause manager, not that one. This canvas and level complete animations. I have the script turned off just that way I can turn it on at a certain point. Just all right. So that's going on. I'm going to leave this playing and have the animation of the lightning effect there, the electricity going, because we also have to make the electricity trap work. Just adding that to the list. Because I only worked on that, say, I think last week where I got the visuals to work on that. All right, let's see here. The way that I have this working is we have the level complete animations because I tried to make a timeline, but since it was using the UI parts, it wasn't letting me animate UI. And I don't know if that's a limitation with the Unity timeline or something, but I tried to get around that by making a bunch of animations. At the end of the animation, it would play a script that would turn on the next one. You can kind of see here that I have this script is on the topmost layer, the parent, and then underneath that, everything else is turned off. So the way that the script that I made works is that it basically just turns on the next part. After that's done, turns on the next part. After that part, turns on the next part. It keeps going until it's completely done. Where in the timeline, I tried to do the exact same thing, but it just did not let me. And I've had so many issues with little things like that with Unity that's a big reason why I want to learn Godot, but also I just want to learn a new engine that I was excited to see is on, say, Android tablets. I have the Tab S8 and I wanted to be able to try it out on there. I have Bluetooth keyboard and I got Bluetooth mouse and I'll be able to use them on there. So that'll work out nicely, hopefully. Not exactly sure how much development I'm going to be doing on a tablet, though, since it is kind of inconvenient, but at the same time, we'll see. So, Snowball, I hope that your math skills are up to par, because we're going to figure out exactly where we went wrong with calculating this end time. So I'm going to take a look at our end time here, which I just realized that if I just have this screen on that the entire time, we're not going to have a fun time. It's just going to be very, very boring. So I'm just going to add a scene in to have the code up. That ended up working out almost perfectly, that it brought it up on its own. I just want to stretch it to fit the screen. There you go. All right, here's the script. So we have this one for the score. And is this the most efficient way to do it? Absolutely not. Definitely not. I'm not even going to attempt to say that it is. It's just, this is a way that it's working. Let me just put that below me. I'm going to put the code above Unity. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh, let's see here. You always start off a project trying to be as efficient with the code as possible, and then eventually you hit a point where it's just things aren't working and you try to make it work, and that's about it. Let's see here. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not. Oh, right. I wanted to check to see if the cursor was being captured. Oh, it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was going to say I don't see it on my screen until I clicked on it, but all right. So let's see here. Okay, so the way this works is these animations are calling all these. Filling in the values is how I get that. So the score, I want to get the level time. So I want to go into the level time, which is the score value. So we could just go into score and we want to get level time. We could just search for this. So here's get level time, which is float get time spent in seconds. Let's make sure we did that math right. Get time spent in seconds. This one. So it's the end time minus the start time dot seconds. I'm not exactly sure that's going to work. Because if I know this from, let me see. I believe it's date time. Typing in all these things wrong. Because these things here, they are date time fields. So inside of here, let's just do a debug to figure out what's going on here. We'll do debug end time. I'll have to do end time and see how much that is. And we'll do the same for start time, and I'll switch their order so start time's first. Start time, end time, and then now gives the difference between them. Okay. So I'm going to hop back to Unity. We're going to hit play, and it's going to be a really tiny change, so I'm not going to bother switching the screen back and forth every single time. All right, let's see here. So in order to get this to play, I need to go and make this fire, which means that I need to have this get to a certain point in the animation. Got my screens all overlapping and everything. All right, so we can hit play on this. We didn't do anything except add a debug line, so I don't need to worry about anything else. And let's take a look here. So we turn this on. It plays that. It should fill it in right there. Okay, it says our start time is 110001. So January 1st, year 1. But the time here for the end time is 5/17/2023, 6/29/33. So our start time isn't working properly. Oh, actually, come to think of it, I beat the level without making a bug, and that's when it does the start time, because you can't beat a level without doing a bug. That's how it works. So let's try that again. This time, let's create a bug. There we go. Clear this to make it easier to see. And now let's make that end level. Okay, so this is 6:30:17 and 6:30:22. So it calculated it as 5 seconds, which is correct. I might want to make it so that way the format has a 0 before that. I'm going to worry about that later. Formatting stuff has never been something I'm good at. It's something that they just never really touched on when I went to school, but I don't really know why. It was one of those, they threw the textbook at you and said, yeah, you understand it now. And it's like, we didn't even get a chance to open it, but they did teach other things. So there's always that. I'm not talking about game dev school either. I'm talking about the computer science. Because I've got 2 degrees, which means I totally know what I'm doing. Totally, absolutely, with unequivocally know what I'm doing. There's no bugs ever. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. Now, my initial thoughts are, because we have the time here, the 2 seconds between them, I'm going to bring a timer up on my phone real quick. Actually, I could do it on the computer. That wouldn't show anyway. I'm just going to do a stopwatch. This one's fine. Stopwatch, okay. So I'm going to hit start, and after I create a bug, I'm going to press play. And I have the idea that I think it's only subtracting the seconds for both of them. So my thought is, if I start this, and then a minute and 5 seconds later pass by, it's only going to say 5. I think it's only subtracting the seconds, not worrying about the minutes, which it should be doing. So let's see what we can do. Spawn the bug, hit start. I'm going to have to wait a minute here. And then when we get to a minute and say 5 seconds, I'm going to stop it by pressing that to turn on the script and enable that. And we're going to see what's going to happen here. And I realize I'm in front of my console here, which is blocking what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to scoot over for a sec. It's been 30 seconds. Just going to clear all that junk stuff. $45 seconds. All right, so another 15 seconds. That'll be a minute and another 5. 10 more seconds and then we'll be able to test this. Okay, so we're over a minute now. And it's about 5 seconds now. Spent 5. All right, so see that? 6:32, 10, 6:33, 15. So it's not calculating how many minutes as well. It's only taking the seconds. So let's see what we can do about that. There's a lot of this give and take stuff with programming. It's certainly something. So let's see here. And it might just be because of this. So I'm just gonna take that out. Oh, it's not letting me do that. Time span to integer. Can I do a time span and then... I guess what I really need to do is this. If I could do seconds, and that's going to make it so that's how many seconds from both of those, because we see that's calculating correctly. It says 5, and it did 15 minus 10, so that is 5. It is doing that correctly. But I think what we need to do above here is say seconds spent is equal to the end time minus the start time. And we want to do minutes. So we can get the minutes, and then we can multiply that by 60. Oh, that's not multiply. That is. We can multiply that by 60. Since every minute there's 60 seconds, that'll return how many minutes have passed. And then, instead of setting this now equal to that same thing, we can add this together. Just want to spread these out. So now to see if that works, we're going to have to leave this running for more than a minute. I'm letting the code compile. Go back here. All right, so let's hit play. We're going to make a bug, and then I'm going to set my timer again, and this time we're going to wait more than a minute, maybe 2 minutes and 15 seconds, which I know you like how good I am at that timing. I was able to get to the second, even though I was kind of guessing, but either way. So we're going to spawn a bug. We're going to hit start, and we're going to wait 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And then hopefully we'll get the answer of... I had to sneeze. What did I say? 2 minutes, 15 seconds? So that would mean 135 seconds is what we should get returned. And then from there, we should be getting returned the actual number of how many minutes and seconds were inside of that box, since now we will be calculating it correctly. It's been almost 30 seconds, which 30 seconds is longer than my grandfather decided to one day microwave ants. I'm going to make a short on that. You'll be seeing that on YouTube eventually, but trust me, you'll want to see that story. As long as I got to do a lot of editing on the video and stuff to make sure that it's a bit more entertaining than the story actually goes. But the story is pretty good in my opinion. It's not a very long story, so that's why it's going to be a short. Been almost a minute here. I actually saw an article earlier about how people were saying that game developers don't know how the Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom does some of their functionality with how many different things they do with the physics and all this other stuff. And I was quite confused, since a lot of it seemed like it wasn't that hard to make. It was just very, very specifically made. And there was a lot of things that were, there's a lot of features basically. And they were talking about, oh, the physics system doesn't make any sense for the Switch and a bunch of other stuff. And well, they did Breath of the Wild already, so they already had so much experience with pretty much that same engine. So I didn't really get where the article was going with it. It kind of seemed like a bunch of clickbait, in my opinion. But I don't know. I'm also somebody who, like my coworker one time needed something that was similar to a Fortnite building system, and I was able to come up with it in about half an hour or something close. You know, not fantastic, but you were able to use it. You didn't even know where to start, so I don't know. I feel like my problem solving's above par, but who knows? Only got another 10 seconds here before we're gonna hit stop on this. We're gonna press this button here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what we got. All right, we're 1 second off of what I said, but our math now looks like it's correct. So the only problem with this right now is I could technically include hours as well, because as we saw, there was a bug with the seconds only being calculated. So if I were to do 60 seconds, it would round up to the next minute. So if I started at 0, 60 seconds later, it's going to calculate me as having 0 seconds. So is there a time with the amount of minutes and seconds where it would just give you credit for beating the level if you waited long enough? That's the kind of bug we want to avoid. Because right then, before I fix this, we could have beat the level at any multiple of 1 minute, and it would have considered us as having beaten it the second it started, automatically beating par time. So I think it will definitely include hours, because otherwise you could just wait a full hour. I'm not saying you'd want to, but you could wait a full hour on a hard level and then just touch the end, and you'd be 1 second, 0 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever you walked over it with. So I think we're going to add that into the code here. We're just going to go and say, okay, on top of that, we'll just add in the minutes here. We're going to say seconds spent is equal to the end time minus the start time. There we go. Although I want that lowercase because otherwise it doesn't work. And not total seconds. Although it was total seconds. Is total seconds what we actually want? Why can't we do this? What does that say? Cannot implicitly do double to int. Oh, it's a double field. Okay. I guess that would give us fractions of a second as well. I don't care about those. I just need the integer. Which, again, you would be able to wait 2 million seconds to have the integer overflow to a negative number, and then you would have a negative time, meaning that you beat it before it started. I wonder how long you would have to wait for that. I think it's 2,700,000 or something like that. I'm not going to look it up right now. I'm just getting a round number. 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. 750 hours. How many days is that? If you wanted to waste 31 days running the game, sure. If they want to go through that much effort, I'll let them have it. But this shouldn't be total seconds. This is going to be hours. And it's not just going to be hours. It's going to be hours times 360. Because it's going to be... my math right? 3,600. That was it. I forgot a zero. I was kind of seeing too low. 3,600. So that's just 60 times 60. There's 60 minutes in an hour and 60 seconds in a minute. So if you do 60 times 60, it breaks up like that. You could, of course, also just do 60 and then multiply 60 again. I'm just doing it in one step. So we should get the number of hours, we should get the number of minutes, and a number of seconds. Cool. So I'll take care of all of that. We could also go smaller than seconds. I'm not going to worry about that at all. So with that being fixed, let me just check my list. We've checked stuff off. Which, thank you, Snowball, for having such good math ideas. You were such a big help to the stream, announcing yourself and everything. Everybody heard you. It was wonderful. All right, let's see here. I actually didn't even write that down. I just kind of remembered it. Anyway, so we're going to go back into Unity here. And we're going to add in the coin, the bonus coin, which I do not think I made yet. I'm going to check the level, not the manager, level parts. And I don't have a coin here yet. So this should be underneath my sprites. Which the person who made all of the art here is not me. It was my artist who also made my VTuber model. I rigged it. She was able to draw it for me, much to her dismay. It was quite a hassle draw. And she doesn't do VTuber models usually, but did me a very huge favor with that. So very thankful for that. They're at Chroma Camellia on most socials. I believe it's every social, actually. Anyway. So what we want to do here is add in the coin. So I think it's still under UI that I have this. Trying to think of where I have it. I think I'll just look up coin. There it is. So we're going to want the sprite version of it. So inside of here, let's do a new empty object. We'll say this is bonus coin. We're going to just drop the bonus coin on top of that, like that. And then we need to put it onto the layer above everything. This is going to be the BugBots layer, just so it's a sorting layer. This is quite large. We're just going to link these and let's say 0.5. Cool. That looks good. Yeah, it's not a bad size at all. We might want to go a little bit smaller, maybe like 0.4. Yeah, that'll look good. And the character's face here is the main character of the game, Dr. Alan Origin, which I needed to come up with an original name for the character of the game. And, well, I'm not sure if you've figured it out when I said it, but Dr. Al Origin, because I was thinking of an ID badge where it says Dr. Origin, comma, Al. So it's original. That's the name. Yes, I know, quite silly. But I needed an original name, so I literally made it original. Let's see here. So we want this coin to be able to rotate around. So we're going to need an animation on it. It looks like I already have one. Just add this on here, see what it is. Go into the animation window. All right, it's not bad. It's clipping in and out of this because it's flipping around in the Z direction. Well, Y in this case, but it's going into the Z dimension to flip around that. So that's not bad, but we just want to make sure we change the scale. Just looking at it that way, it looks like it's messing up. Like it's flipping back and forth and then around a couple times. Yeah, I don't know when I did this animation. Just move myself back into the corner here. Let's take a look here. Trying to think of what I want it to look like. First off, scale. I don't need to do that. Rotation, though. So it flips around. Let me just select this so I can see this. It's flipping around to 180 degrees on the Y, and then it's going back down to 0. To make this constantly flip around, I think I'm going to take away this. And I got to go back to 90. It looks like I'm doing it every 30 frames, which this does not line up there. I guess it does. So this we want it to be, let me hit record. This will be 360, not 0. Because then in 45 frames, we're going to 180. So that'll be a complete rotation. All right, that looks good. And then we can also go inside of, I believe it's just behind my phone here, and that's why I don't see it. Let me just move this over. Yes, curves. So we see that this is how it works. It's curving up and then coming back down. I don't really know what this is. So that looks like the old one. Let's just get rid of that. Yeah, straight line. So let's see, we want this to not really slow down between them, not as much at least. Let's see what we can do. Let's try auto. Yeah, so now we have a straight line, so it's going to be just constantly spinning around. Now on both sides of the coin, I want it that way it's always facing the right way, as if the back of the coin is mirrored. So I'm going to have to add that to the animation. So we're going to stop this. Back inside of here. Yeah, just 0 to 360 worked out. Let's see here. So right in the middle, 45 frames. Let's see. Actually, it would be before that. Or here. Right there. So let's say that it starts at this moment right beforehand. So it looks like frame 22. We'll say that the scale here is that 0.4 number. And then one frame forward, 23, let's make that negative. And then that way when it comes back up, it's like that. And then right here, same point. Right there. We want that to once again be that negative 0.4. So it goes one more frame forward, we want this to be positive again. And I'm sure there's other ways of doing it, but that's just a really quick way of doing it. So just on the frame before it, I'm making sure that it flips back around to be the opposite direction, but I'm putting a keyframe before it to show it which value it should be. So I'm putting in this case the positive, then the negative one frame later. And then over here, I'm putting the negative, then a positive one frame later, so that way it flips back the other way. Because now we're seeing the reverse negative side, and now we're seeing back to the positive side. So it just looks like it's always facing the right way. And then now it's not wiggling around all weird, it's just flipping really quickly. It's really easy to see when it's this way. It's hard to see when it's this way. I'm just considering whether or not we do want it to just be constantly spinning like that, or if we want to make it so that way it stops. Because if we do, that's pretty smooth. Let's do both tangents are weighted. I don't know. That's not at all what I wanted. Well, either way, I think we're going to leave it like this for now. Because before, when it was stopping, it just felt like it was breaking it up, even though it probably was fine. But either way, I don't think there's really a wrong answer here. It's just more what taste you have at the moment. So with this coin here, we want to add it so that way it has the ability to be picked up. So even though that's spinning, the reason I made it a object underneath is because I didn't want it to. That's odd. By moving it, oh, I guess my level is not at Z is 0. Interesting. I don't remember ever changing that. That's odd. Anyway. So with this coin here, I made the object underneath it. Oh, that's why this is 3 forward. So if I do this, then 0. There we go. And then I want to move this. There we go. Because with that object spinning around, I want to make sure that the animation wasn't being messed up for the collision with it, because as it spun in this direction, it would change the collider with it as well. So in this case, I'm just going to add in a sprite renderer. In this case, I'm just going to give it a circle. And this is just for me to visually see it as I'm making it. Okay. We're going to add in a circle collider 2D. A little hard to see on the yellow background. Not a big deal though. The radius here is going to be, I want to go just inside of it like that. So 33, maybe 30. So you actually have to get a little closer to touch it. So remove that, we don't need it. So now we have the circle collider. Now this is going to need a script so when it gets picked up, it is able to be collected by the score manager. And then we want to double check that it works when we have the level end pop up. Let's see. Just stop that. Go back to assets. Go down to scripts. I just want to double check that we don't have anything like this. Let's say bonus. Spelled bonus wrong. Bonus. This apparently is searching everything. I just wanted scripts. Okay, cool. We don't have anything inside of scripts. So we're going to do create. We have scripts toward the top. 3C# script. We're going to say this is bonus coin. Cool. So from the beginning, we want this to be able to call the score script and tell it that we've collected the bonus. So in this case, I'm going to do a public score called score, which could make it private. I really don't care right now. I could go back and just make this a private serialized field if I really want to, which maybe I will just for posterity's sake. Serialized field score. There we go. So now we can see that in the inspector and be able to drop that in. So when this starts, we don't want to do anything. On update, we don't need to do anything. We just need to know when one of the players' bug bots collide into it. So we're going to do on collision enter, which actually I'm going to change into a trigger, just that way other things don't touch it. So on trigger, enter 2D. I'm just going to click back in Unity real quick, just that way I can click is trigger on that circle collider, just that way I don't forget to do that part. So is trigger enter, and we could say if collision dot game object dot tag, since that's how I'm doing it with all the different bug bots. I'm going to say is bug bot. I forgot the second equal sign. So we're comparing values. And inside of here, if the collision is bug bot, what do we want to do? We want to collect the coin. So it's going to be a couple different values. We're going to have another serialized field. This is going to be, I'm just going to write it this way to make it a little cleaner. On a private, maybe we can have a little particle effect play when you pick it up. So let's just say game object particle effect. You do the same thing. Oops. Except instead of particle effect, is going to be the audio source. Just call it audio. And the sound effect we're just going to leave inside of it, not play on awake, and that way we can just say audio.play. So when the player touches the coin, collect the coin. We'll do that part last. Play a sound. So that's where we're going to do audio.play. And it's going to just have the sound on it. So play the sound. Also, we're going to have the particle effect. play. So we're gonna do particle effect dot active, set active, that's the one I'm looking for. Set active to true, just like that. So this particle effect will start to play. And then in order to collect the coin, we want this thing to destroy itself. So I'm going to do that a little bit differently. In order to make this do that visual effect, I'm going to turn off the visual since the audio is on this object. I don't want to just destroy it right away because that coin sound effect, say it's like bing. If we turn it off that first moment, it's going to go. It might not even make the noise through my background noise removal, but it would make a really short noise, and we don't want that. We want it to play the full thing. So in order to collect the coin, we're going to say, we're going to turn off the visual, and the visual effect is underneath the game object transform child object. So I want to do transform dot child. I want to get child. There's only one, and it's an array, so we have to use 0. And then we're going to get component. The component we're looking for is the sprite renderer. And then inside of here, we want to do enabled it's false, just like the example showing us there. That predictive text. So that's making it so that the visual's turned off. We still need to turn off that collision again, because on this point, we can enter the collision, and if it doesn't turn off in time, say our sound effect is 5 seconds long, we could just walk back and forth through it, and it would just keep making the sound effect over and over and over and over again. So we want to make sure that we turn off the circle collider. So to collect the coin, we need to turn off the visual. And then we're also going to turn off the collider. We want to get component, circle collider 2D, enabled, and instead of true, we want false. So it's playing a sound, playing a particle effect, making sure that the object is turned off for the visual, the sprite renderer, and our collider's off as well. So let's just make sure that all works. Let's switch back to Unity. This coin here, we're going to put the bonus coin on there. So it needs the score object. So if I just click on this, score manager is the right one. Particle effect, we don't have one just yet. We'll have to make one. Let's check through our prefabs. I think we have the explosion prefab. We can just use that so that way it won't give us an error. And then we also want to add the audio source. Don't play on awake. We don't have any clip just yet. Let's say that it plays the... I'll say the door closing sound. And then this is the audio source for there. All right, we'll make this a prefab after we have it all working. So with all of that, let's put this coin somewhere where they're going to be able to grab it. Let's say here. And then the end of the level thing... Let's put that through the door over here. So the bug's going to be able to walk out, go through this door here, and get to the end of the level, which the end of the level doesn't quite have the functionality there yet. That's going to be, not exactly sure if it's next, but we're going to add that soon. Fortnite is over. Let me just full screen this. Spawn in the bot, moves the camera over. And we're not able to touch it, so let's see what's going on here. My first suspicion is that the tags are not right. Because I told it to use the tag bug bots for the collision. So it might be bug bots. It might be something else. I want to see what they're tagged as. So not maximize, I'm going to spawn in this guy. Check it, it is tagged as grasshopper, but the layer is bug bots. So I might want to check every single one of these individually, just that way I'm not comparing it with the entire level, because if this coin were ever, say, to moving around or something and you had to collect it, which I don't really see that happening, but if it connected with any part of the wall or any other object that's part of the bug bots layer, it would do that. So let's just implicitly say any of the bug bots layers. Just trying to think of a good way to do that. Something that doesn't make me have to just write it 4 times. let's do this. We'll say bool is valid. And we'll say that is false, so it's not valid. And then we'll say switch the collision dot game object dot tag. We'll say case grasshopper is valid as shoot break. And we want to do the same thing for the other ones. We have the grasshopper, we have the lightning bug, we have the beetle, and then we have the spider. Okay, so then changes is valid to true, and then the default case for anything else is valid as false and break again. Cool. That'll be good. And with that, instead of checking to see if the collision exists, we just want to check is valid. There we go. That way I only had to write this part instead of having to do a really long if statement. Let's check this out. Got our grasshopper. We're walking by. We're going to touch the coin. It worked. And then we have the door open, which it shuts real quick. So we need somebody else to hold the door for us. And this bug, the lightning bug, can charge on this pad. Could switch by clicking on them. See if we can switch back and forth. You can also use the buttons here. We touch this object and then it should, but it won't right now because we don't have it working just yet. This level complete canvas should do this. Should say level complete. It also needs to take away the UI for this. 47 seconds. We use 2 bugs. 5 seconds. Let's see if our bonus pops up. Of course it doesn't, but it's also very small. Why is that so small? That's actually really weird that it's just that small. All right, what happened to you? 0.4. Was this bug? They're sharing the animation that I overwrote earlier. That's not good. But why was it doing in that folder? I put all the animations for that inside of the animation folder over here. These are the kind of problems I always have all the time in Unity. Because inside of here, I had animations for the UI, and I had it for the level complete. We see part time, we see the stopwatch. Level complete. Bonus coin, like, yeah, there's bonus coin right there. But then if I go back to where this coin picture is, there was an animation right here. That's annoying. All right, we're going to have to redo that animation now. So the animation that we do have, this one, that's going to work for the bonus coin. So let's make a new one for the bonus coin UI animation controller. So that's going to be just for this one. So we're going to do bonus coin AC. No, this one, bonus coin UI AC. And we're going to have to use the animation that we had from the last point. Which I'm thinking our easiest way of doing this is just taking like the par score or the stopwatch. So the way I did this was probably in a convoluted way, but it worked out. All starts at 0, 180 with -1. Just copy these values. Go back and do this object. Just change these to all 1. Let's stop playing. Bonus coin UIAC, that goes there. Animation, there is no animation. Or at least there shouldn't be. See, why is there an animation here? This shouldn't be here. We are inside of the bonus coin. But this doesn't have any animation yet. But they do. That's bizarre. I'm just going to get rid of that. Create a new one. Bonus coin. UI spinning. Just to make sure it's a very specific name, just to get it separated from the other one. Not a great name convention, but whatever. Not sick of having to redo things 100 times because it just somehow grabbed that one. I don't know. So inside of here, let's paste these all in. Let's turn on the UI parts so we can see what we're doing. It's looking better. That goes back off. That goes off. That goes off. Let's save that. Let's hit play. Let's try it again. Oh, we do all the stuff, whatever. We have the bot in there. And then eventually we beat the level. Stopwatch pops up. Coin pops up nice and big. I don't know why that's flashing over here, this. Like down here, it's not in the game window. Okay. So because that's a new animation, they're set to looping by default, but that looked good. That looked like it was working. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to fix that in a bit, but I want to make sure that inside of here, we're going to be able to touch this object. And once we do, it's going to turn on that script. So we have the level complete script here. And the level complete script, I did the same thing as before. I had the if it touched the tag bug bot, so I had the same misconception as earlier. What we're going to do here is bonus coin. I'm just going to do this same exact thing. And instead of this, we're going to say is valid. And the level is complete. Do that. Let's see here. This is the level complete script. And it plays the level complete animations. So this object should be always on. Yeah. So this needs a collider. Has a polygon collider because I don't know what shape I'm going to be using. That's fine. Let's try it out. Now we should be able to do this a bit faster for testing if we just drag a bug right into there. So if we spawn the bug, we can just grab it, drag it over the coin, and I forgot that I set up logic to crush them if they went inside of the wall. Let's grab a different bug. No big deal, they're expendable. Let's go around the wall. If we touch that, the level ends. Question is, could we end the level multiple times? Does not look like it. But our values and animations seem to be doing better. It's just the bonus coin is not telling the score that it's actually got the object. Oh, I didn't share a single part of that. I'll share it again real quick just to show you. Dance, Snowball, dance. All right. So we got this bug here, grasshopper. So we can pick up the coin. We can go through the wall. We can touch that. And if we touch that, it blows up. So I did touch the end there, so that should have worked, but I guess I didn't touch it good enough. Grasshopper through the wall. Touch it. There we go. Here's level complete. Level name and that. Yeah, the bonus coin. That's what we need to work on next. We are getting there. Back to the code here. We have our bonus coin. And we want to make sure that that value is being set. So score dot get coin. Just see what coin has. Looks like I might not have anything for coin. Let's double check. Did I just call it bonus? Got bonus. It is public. Collected bonus. We can call that function. Collected bonus. Let's double check the logic. So if we collected the bonus, if we did not have it before, we set it to true and data changes. Yes. True. Okay. Some of these scripts I wrote last year since I've just been working on and off this thing for so long. I'm really trying to push through it and just get it done with. So let's see here. Now we have this. We get the bug. Grab the coin. We drop ourselves in the end of the level. Par time considers us as having beaten it, which is good. The coin still doesn't. So let's see. Keep forgetting to switch back to the screen for Unity. Let's see here. Somewhere inside of this script, I'm changing out the pictures. Yeah, I'm using fill-in values. So actually, come to think of it, I don't think I'm swapping out the pictures here. I think Score might be doing that. No. Which now has me curious which picture I put in here for the stopwatch. It is the dark one. It is switching. So I just need to find out where I switch it. Wait for the title, wait for the stopwatch. That plays the animation. Did I do it on the animation itself? No, I did not. It doesn't seem like it's on this level select info panel either. Let me turn this stuff off again. Stopwatch is that. This is just the levels complete one. Inside of level complete. No, that just has that. I don't know where I'm doing that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what name I would have called it to be able to grab it. Come on, Snowcone, think. Put our combined 2 brain cells together. Maybe if we rub them together really hard, we'll get a synapse. Let's see. Maybe the stopwatch. That's an animator. Sprite. Beat par stopwatch. Beat par stopwatch. This. Okay, so that's where I'm doing it. So I'll do a public sprite. Beat or got bonus coin. Now where am I using that? There. Switch stopwatch. So that's seeing if it's right. So let's do this. iNumerator. So do coroutine. Switch bonus coin. Float time to wait. We're just doing it the same way. If our score dot, no, not our score. Our score dot got bonus. Yield return new wave for seconds. Switch to the Litecoin version. So we can do coin dot game object dot get component image since it's UI sprite, and we can set that equal to the got bonus coin. Then we need to call this somewhere. So we're gonna call this in, let's see, this stopwatch. Is called here after doing the wait for stopwatch, switch stopwatch. So wait for bonus, we could do start coroutine. Switch bonus coin. How long did I wait in the other one? Just gonna take that as is. Coin dot get animator clip info 0 divided by 3. We got one too many of those, and we need that. What am I missing here? Parentheses can be removed. Do I have one too many? Yes, I did. So I don't really think that does exactly what I want it to do, but I'm going to leave it in there as is. And while I'm at it, let's add in the same thing, but for the bugs. Switch bugs used. Now, the way I did the bugs used there, since it's just a silhouette, I'm pretty sure all I have to do is just change its color rather than changing its image. Yeah. If we take a look here, I just made it so this bug here, this one, the fully colored in one, is just fully black there. So it's just overlaid. So if I make it white, it should be fine. So we can do bugs used public. I guess I don't need that actually. Yeah, bugs used dot game object dot get component image dot sprite dot color. Or is it just color? Yeah, there it's just separate. And then we can use the built-in color dot white. And we just need to switch the bugs used rather. So this is calling that. Let's do that. Start coroutine. That. Length of time. And this will do bugs used. And semicolon. Cool. So that should take care of those. So that way now we should see the entire menu being filled in correctly. So if we do that, there's our par. Just cheat a little bit. So oh, look at that. We grabbed the coin. And we beat the level. We're so quick with it. Okay, so we didn't set that sprite image. Everything else seems to be working though. So let's set that sprite picture. This one here, we didn't set that. Coin, there it is, the light version. Let's try it again. So it looks like it is working. I just want to double check. Spawn the bug. Walking on through, we grab the coin. Walk over here, we wait at the door. We touch it, we win. We can still move around. We just got to change that later, but 14 seconds sounds about right. We did obtain the bonus or the par score. Let's get the bonus coin. Did that. And the bugs used. Cool. That all looks good. Now, the only thing is I want to make sure if we've already obtained those things at one point before, it needs to save it to the file and then it needs to read it back when we come into this level. So then it needs to know whether or not we've done this. Which that's probably going to be inside of our score here. But I'm going to grab a drink and probably use the bathroom and I'll be right back. So I'm just going to change this to the break scene. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So, what were we just on? We made the coin, we made it so that way it works. We were trying to figure out making it so that way if we had already collecting these things, it would say that it's still collected. So inside of my score script here, it has a save data function which calls a save manager. So let's do the same thing but for loading data. Because we want to pull these values in when it first starts and we don't want to overwrite them if they were already set. So let's see, the save manager is the thing that we want. Find object of type. I don't like using that, but I don't think there's going to be any getting around that since it's going to be a, well, it is rather a, whatchamacallit, singleton. And then that singleton starts on the first scene of the game where it loads in all the values for the level select. And then from there, it follows throughout the game. Just realized I had plastic on my ground from something I opened. On the carpet, anyway. So let's see here. I want to pull up the save manager. This is what I'm looking for. Save manager has on an awake field, update, load level data. If the file exists for the path name. How does it know the path name? That is level data.save under the level data. There's also an unlock next level. Okay. It's been a very long time since I went through this code, so let's see here. Level data has a saved beat par time, saved beat bugs use time, saved get bonus, and saved unlocked level unlocked. It's just current level plus 1. How do we know what the current level is? So unlock next level also saves the values. Save values also does that. Just unlocked levels does very specifically that little part. So let's try a load level data. Let's see what we get. Let's try save manager dot load level data. Let's see, I should have the save manager in this one since it is a singleton. Over here, this object, so we're looking on the right here in the inspector. I want to not play maximize. I want to play and I want to see what things we have in there. It's reloading the scripts. Okay. We have element 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are all the different elements in here. So this is just a JSON file being written to. Which, if it's a single player game, if the players want to cheat, I'm not going to bother doing a whole lot to stop them other than not providing them with a very easy tool to do it. They'll have to go in and change the values themselves, but let's see here. All these are beat. The save time is 0. Saved bugs used is 0. Let's say that this is actually 1000 and this is 200. Because I believe this is going to be considered level 0. Because is there a level manager I made? I'm not seeing a level manager, but score tells us what level we're in. Okay. Then this object underscore tells us what the values are. 300 seconds, 5 minutes, 20 bugs used. Level 1, even though it's 0 in the list. Okay, we're piecing it together. So when we load that data, so let me just double check if this code loads that data in before. I don't want to call this if it's already being called in a save manager. Where is this? This is being called at the end of awake. Okay, so it's already in there. So let's see. The level data is public, so I can just grab it. Level data. And we're not doing anything with it. Dot level saves. Dot. This is a list of the save status. We should be able to go into here with the current number of the levels. So we can do a level number. We'll say bool test equals, and we want dot saved beat bugs used, no. Beat level unlocked, no. Bugs used par, beat par time. Just want to see if we beat par time. Okay, we're getting there. So now I'm just trying to think of where we're going to use this knowledge. Because we don't even need this load data. It's already loaded by the time we get here. It loads out awake. So let's just copy this line. Get rid of all this. Let's see here. Let's go up to the par time. Here we go. If the par time is greater than, yeah, the amount of par time we have is greater than the amount of time we spent, and we have not beat the par time. Why would I check to see if we have not beaten the par time? I guess if we beat the par time, we just don't want it to change, but it's changing it to true anyway. I guess then the data wouldn't change. Because I was only trying to save it as many times as I had to. If nothing changed, nothing needed to be saved. What we could do is on start. Oh. I'm already doing it. I'm already doing the thing that I'm trying to worry about. Nice. How cool of me. Let's make sure I'm using it everywhere. Beat the par time. Check par time, check bars used. Save data. The animations here they use to get level time. Get level time uses the time gets spent in seconds. So that just returns a number, so it's not using compared tar time. So inside of here, I think this is where I did it wrong. Because inside of here, I'm saying if score.got, actually that seems right. Yeah, beat par time, beat bugs used par, and got bonus. Beat par time, got bonus, that's where I did it wrong. Beat bugs used par. Now that's okay. Let's do this then. Over here we have our score, which we changed a little bit because we just erased the line that we wrote after we saved it. So I think we can check this off as working, but I do want to double check that it works. So let's see, we'll have to make a way to test this. Do public, private's fine. Private void update. Let's see if we press the letter S for save. Let's say we save. Trying to see what we need. Save data. We're going to change the values before that. So let's say our beat par time equals false. Our beat bugs par use is false. And our got bonus is also false. Like, I'm just whirring up. All right, let's see here. Hit play. We're going to press the letter S. Saving 0. Cool. Let's check that. Save manager is here. Okay, so they all got unchecked. We left level unlocked alone. Wait, can I move that? Okay. I don't want to reorder them. Leaving that alone. Anyway. 1,500 seconds, 2,000, 20,000 bugs used. Let's see here. If I create the bug. Good so far. Let's say I beat the level. This would do the amount of bugs used is fine. So let's see here. Before I complete this, keep forgetting to go back here. So before I complete this, let's make sure my bug here is ready for that. Is there up there? That's fine. I'm looking for this, which is from the score manager. Set up score manager. Level number 0 is using this. So let's see, the par time, let's say is 0, and the bugs use is also 0. So if I spawned in any bugs, it shouldn't work. That is not set at that setting. Okay, so it should be all right. So let's grab our bug up here, drop it onto the end. Okay, so we did not complete the par score, which was 0. We did not get the bonus. And we did not get the bug. But it should always save that we unlocked the next level. So we want to make sure that is happening. Because just because the player wasn't able to get all of the stars doesn't mean that they shouldn't continue to the next level of the game. Yeah, this is what I thought as well. Level number, and then true for save values, because save values here part-time bugs used got bonus, the level number, and then the levels unlocked. Okay, cool. So I did set this up where it worked. I was just rethinking that I hadn't done it yet. Cool. That works out very well. So next I want to make sure that this picture here is not showing up when it doesn't need to. So I believe what I could do is just turn them all off. Because I believe that they turn themselves on when they're needed. I'm talking about the button in the bottom right here when the bugs spawn in. See how the button changed to this up one? Make it full screen to make it a little more obvious. This one, I would change to this so we can jump. And then when you switch bugs to this one, it's the electricity thing, which I thought I switched out. I'll double check that in a sec. I got the beetle here. Just gonna ram stuff. I got the spider. Spider's missing. Okay. So let's open that, see if we can find it. It's on line 62. Touch controls dot game object defined spider grapple button. How did I do the other ones? So I turned them all off and they seem to work fine. Let me not focus, not maximize that. Let's see, there's nothing there. I press that. The button does appear here. So what button is that? Because I don't even see it here. It is this one. For some reason, it's just not visible. My canvas just turned off. Okay. So I can see that. So that was turned on when I selected it. So let me check the selection manager. Selection manager. So that's what controls everything in this game. There were so many player characters, technically. I wanted to make sure there was something to keep track of it. Let's see here. So when we add bug, get the current bug index type. I'm just going to follow along Grasshopper. Let's see here. Action buttons. Action buttons that set active is true, false. True, false. Okay. So let's check Grasshopper and see if there's anything being done there that's not being done inside of Spider. Let's try it, movement. Explosion, right. Looking through here for the spider, the grasshopper, then I'm gonna look at spider. Speed, all these things. Not using star jump as an animation since I ended up not using it. I don't see any reference to these buttons. Let me see if there's a script on the button itself. Maybe it's on the spawn manager when I spawn it. Because on here, whenever I spawn something, it might change that. Let's check there. Bot spawner. Back to the code. Let's see here. Spawn bot. Grasshopper, new bug. Let's make all this match. We set it to there. Toggle the spawn panel. Turn on bug control. Still not it. Yeah, the only thing I found so far is the bug action buttons. Which actually, the bug action buttons. That's on the selection manager. Let's check that real quick. Selection manager. Bug action buttons. Yeah, there's only 3 in there. So let's add a 4th one. Let's put the one in for the spider. For spider grapple button. Also, the lightning bug, I believe, was wrong. Yeah, that wasn't the right picture. This should be... I guess I don't have one. Let me check my folder with all the art in it real quick. Should be under UI. I see one for grapple. I see one for the ramming. I see one for jump. I do not see one for electricity. Let me just search all the folders for buttons. I found 2 things I will need, so I'm just going to drag them in anyway. Got the next and retry buttons. These are both sprites. They have alpha as transparency. Okay. Are they different sizes? Of course they're different sizes. Destroy, jump, next, drop down, exit level options, all these buttons. Lightning bug button. Beetle button, lightning bug button. What's this? Not those. Okay, so I need a lightning bug button. Just add that to my list. All right. So the grapple hook button was always on. Let's see if we fix that at least, even though the other button doesn't look like the lightning bug button. Should at least be right now. Just full screen this. There we go. So we make the grasshopper, we have the jump button. Destroy them. We have the lightning bug. They have their discharge button. Which of course does not have the right graphic, but I don't know if it's just not in the folder or if it wasn't made yet. I'll have to talk to my artist with that. But the button does function. The lightning bug does not have an assigned prefab for explosion. Good thing I was testing that as well. Lightning bug, let's open up their prefab. Selection manager, that's fine. Explosion prefab. Explosion. Not in the scene and assets. There we go, we could save that. Let's start it up again. Lightning bug blows up, cool. And the beetle there with the RAM. I need to make it so that way that triangle is not jumping around that fast. I think that has to do with the Z issue again. The same thing I had on the other object earlier, where I was just moving it around on the Z axis without realizing. Yeah, because that is much further from the camera than it should be. Which tells me... yeah, it's under setup. It should be under level parts. 0. So I'll have to move that again. But before that, destroying does work. Let's fix that real quick. This end goal should be under level parts. It should be 0 in there. Okay. Because the camera shake is just camera shake, thanks to Code Monkey on YouTube. Put out a very nice video on camera shaking with the Cinemachine. So RAM. Yeah, now it's not jumping around. Cool. Blow this up. We got the spider. We can do our grapple. And I set that earlier, so I'm kind of surprised it's not there. Let's see here. Bug explosion. Okay, the explosion is set. The variable destroy sound. So that's not what's set. Destroy sound. Explosion. There we go. Yeah, because the other ones were just playing based on animation. This was playing based on when you click a button. Double check this works. Spider is able to grapple and blow up. Cool. When the spider blows up, let's turn off those extra objects as well. Let's see here. Spider. Explode. Alright, so I just lost the pen cap thing to my mechanical pencil holding. Yeah, a thing that goes on the eraser. I guess it would be an eraser cap. Just flew off when I flicked my pencil toward the screen. Like I pointed it toward it a little quickly, but still. So I'm writing everything down on a notepad in front of me. Let's see here. Destroy the game object that long. We want the line renderer. I think it was grapple line I called it. Say enabled as false, and we'll say the grapple hook dot set active is false. Since the grapple line is a line renderer on the object and the grapple hook is a game object. Okay. Let's try that. Checking over my notes real quick. Let's see. Spider, shoot it up. And blow up. Cool. That looks good. Let's just double check the grappling hook itself also disappeared when we did that. Because it is slightly off screen. Yes, all of it went away. Perfect. So with that, we are looking in really good shape now. So this coin here, we know that that works. So let's turn this coin. This one into a prefab. Really easy here. So this is a level part. So we're just going to drag the bonus coin into here. There we go. Now it's a prefab. The electric trap I wasn't quite done with. I'm going to leave this in here. I'm going to just drag this into level parts though. And what else we got here? The explosion, the grasshopper, the lightning, the beetle, the grasshopper. What are all these? I think this is just me testing around different things. Don't need any of those since they're able to spawn in. Power bar. I'm not actually using that anymore. This was the old electricity, I believe. I don't even know where that is. I'm still not using it, so that's fine. Just close all these, tidy this up a bit. Okay. Let me save this. Okay, cool. Got a lot done so far. Let me see what the next thing is. I think we're going to want to make the electricity trap have some functionality. So the idea here is that this trap is going to be inside of some walls. So I'm going to build this way with the tile palette. I'm on the background layer. That's fine. We're going to want to build out some level anyway. Let's do this. There we go. And then we want to fill in more levels. So that's going to be the level background. Nice big room. And for this electricity trap, let's see. It's over here. Just move on in here. And the way that this would line up is... I'm wondering if these objects should be moved over slightly. Like this. Just that way this is a little more centered. Let me add a sprite renderer so I can just add a dot in the middle here. Something to center these on. And just loosely center them, of course. There we go. So right now if I move this around, it'll move from about the center of it. So if I put this here, like that. I think that's how I was going to line it up. Needs to be ever so slightly more down. So 1.625 maybe. Three, that raises it up. 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 7, 5. That'll work. Cool with that. So then that would make the other part of it need to be up here. Make it so he can't walk to the back. And we'll want to make sure the negative side, which is the top here, it's first 3 points. Let's put this down a bit. And that would also mean that the parent endpoint needs to move down as well. I want to make sure that the wires are exposed a little bit. And then these points, just a little bit further to touch it. Something like that. Oh, I didn't select all of them. There we go, something like that. Because then that's able to tell you that it's connected to all of those parts. Oh, let's see here. There, of course, need to be something in there for the bug to do. Let's say that this was the way the level needed to be beaten. Just as an example. That's open, like that. So the electricity bug can't jump through. But it can break that, which does not have the functionality to do so yet, but we're going to try and get this in the next hour. So, I'm going to get off the tile map. There we go. So this is going to go over here. That's the end of the level. Save that. And we want to edit something on the electricity trap. We're going to add in 2D game object, a sprite. We're going to add in a square. It's going to have to be on the effects layer. It's going to be put over here. It's going to be this wide by that tall. And this is not going to be called square. This is going to be called the collision. Called the electricity collision. We'll put it on the bugbots layer so it's able to touch them. Since bugbots can touch each other. And let's see here. Oh. We'll need a collision on it. So let's do a box collider 2D. Cool, match the shape nicely. And let's see. We're going to make this a trigger. I'm trying to think which way we want to do this. Do we want to make it so each bug can detect if they touch this, or if we make this detect each bug? I think we want this to detect the bugs. Let me just see if I made an electricity script already. Elec. In scripts. Circular menu. Moving electrical wires. Electricity script. Let's check that. I have not been showing Unity this whole time. So here's what I put together. I added a new section to the level here that I kept talking over that I was totally doing and totally not showing as well. You gotta tell me, Snowball. You gotta tell me I'm not showing things. Anyway. So this here is just the electricity trap. So the way that this is going to work is that you can't get around this, which I guess technically the spider could right now, but maybe there'll be alternate ways to beat certain levels depending on how you want to do it, but I'm not quite sure yet. I'm trying to build all the pieces that then will build all the puzzles. I have some concepts for puzzles, but I'll see when I get to place them all together quickly and edit how the levels are. So let's see here. So the script, we have the electricity. It's setting the position of the electricity. So this is the entire thing. This is not just a collision. So let's make one just for the collision. Let's see. We have electrical wires. Level info, level select, selection manager. Yeah, there's none of these that are working just for the collision. So I'm going to make a new 2D script or C# script. Say electricity, collision. See it pop up in a sec. There it is. It's exactly the same as the other one I just did, like the bonus coin. Do this. Let's remove all this. We don't need any of that. Pop that right in. So we have on trigger enter. If it touches any of these, it's true. And then if it is, we need to do certain things. So in this case, it's just going to be calling the destroy function based on which thing it hit. So let's say this is... I have to get the enumerated type, which I'm pretty sure I can get it on here. Because that's public, which means I was able to just set it. So I should be able to get bugbot. So let's do bugbot, not spawner. I guess it is a spawner. Bugbot spawner dot bugbot bug type And if it's the grasshopper, whoop, wrong button, hit page down. Let's split this up in a little different way. We're able to see it a little easier. Bug type equals bugbot spawner dot bugbot dot grasshopper. It did not do what I wanted this to do. Grasshopper. There we go. Semicolon. Do the same thing for this one. Between there and break, we'll put that. This one is going to be the lightning bug. I didn't put break underneath. There we go. This one's the beetle. This will just let us call the script to be able to tell which one we're going to break. Oh, it's hitting V. I was nowhere near the letter V. It's odd. It's like I got stuck down or something. Anyway. Spider, in this case. So since they're all being called by whatever it is, some project resource files refer to API that is changed. Where? Do you want these files to be updated? I'm gonna hit save, and I guess we'll hit yes for else. We'll see what it does. It's telling me that the name particle effect and score does not exist in the current context. Oh, I didn't scroll that far enough. Though I thought I just erased most of that. Anyway. This is not the coin anymore. This is the electricity. So I'm going to say is valid means that it's going to destroy them. So the only one I need to change is lightning bug is false. I'll write that in there so I don't forget that. So we have is valid here. And if it is switch bug type, and we can do, I know I did a switch statement a bunch in the selection manager. Let me see how I did it. Bug type grasshopper. Yeah, so I need to do it the same way. So I'll do this. Case the grasshopper get component, no, collision dot get component grasshopper dot destroy bug and then break. Use of unassigned local variable. I can't switch statement with it because it's unassigned to start with. I mean, it has to be one of these, so let me just set it to be the grasshopper. So now let's copy this whole case. We're gonna do the same thing, but for each one. Well, I guess except for one. We don't need one for the lightning bug. It's not gonna be destroyed. So this will be beetle. This again is beetle. This one's going to be spider. Spider. Okay. Let's go back to Unity. Let me make sure to switch it over this time. All right. To clear that, let me check that the electricity script is on here. It's not. Electricity collision onto there. There's nothing else. Cool. So all I have to do is walk over and touch these. So let's do this quick. Let's see what we got. So the way this level would be beaten is select, I don't know, let's go with the lightning bug first. We walk on over, we collect the coin. What happened? Particle effect is not set. That's fine. Bonus coin. Play the particle effect, play the audio. I'll do 2 slashes and comment out that for now. I guess I need to reset it actually because there should have been something in it. I'm going to leave it on actually since I know there should be something there playing. That way I won't forget about it. If it would reload the scripts, I can go into it. All right, so let's go into the prefabs, the level parts, the bonus coin. Yeah, it's missing some objects. So let's just do the explosion effect since it's another prefab. And then the actual score object's going to have to be dragged in on each level, unfortunately. Okay. Now, since there's that effect, we should be able to continue. And it should just explode springs out of it. That was the cap to the pencil. That time it was a little harder to see. It flew onto the floor. All right, let's see. Let's pick the beetle. We charge forward. Really? Okay. So this coin, because we changed stuff, revert. And then let's put the score manager back in here from the scene. It still had the nothing in the particle effect. All right, let's try this again. Beetle, we charge forward. We hit a wall that we couldn't open. We hold this. We can't charge through in time. Let's do, not that, I want the lightning bug. Lightning bug's gonna wait at the door. We have the grasshopper now. It's gonna walk over to the switch. We jump on it. The door is open. I can't click on the lightning bug for some reason. Let's move that over with that. We're gonna walk on in. I have the camera set bounds. Let's see. The right of the level should be here now. I'm wondering if that's something I set at the very beginning. Let's just move that over and then try that again. Because I'm going to have to resize the camera for some of these levels as well. I still need to make a function to be able to zoom in and out of the levels as well. There we go, get to the other side. Still, the camera stops right here. What's going on? Main camera. That's a shaking. Confiner to the background. Background. Let's attach to this polygon. Now it should be able to go further. I guess it's only when the level starts, but we can continue like this. All right, so the grasshopper is able to go right through. Not the grasshopper, the lightning bug. Jeez, I'm losing it. Let's find another one of the grasshoppers. Just drag them through real quick. So they blow up. Selection manager does not like them blowing up that way. So let's figure out how the button to explode them works. Let's see. Let's go to the scripts here. Is explode one of them? This is to explode in random directions. That's not it. All right, let's find the on-screen button. Destroy button. Destroy button uses selection manager dot remove current bug. Oh, so we didn't need all that stuff we made. So back in the code here. For this collision. Instead of that, just if it's valid, we want. Let's add a serialized field, private, selection manager. Selection manager. It would just be selection manager dot remove current bug. None of that. None of these. And none of this. Save that. Try it out. Okay. Loading. Okay. So whenever something gets destroyed by that electricity, we want to test that. Spawn in the grasshopper. Grasshopper looks good. Gets dragged over to the electricity and null reference exception. I did not set that selection manager. I could do a game object.find, but I'm really trying to avoid that if I don't need to. I'm gonna move this one up to the top so it's easier to find. Selection manager, perfect. Let's see here. Now it should work. Create that. Drag it on in. Blows up. And it was still able to move around last time, so maybe I want to look at that, but I'm not going to be too worried about that right now. I want to make sure this all works. Lightning bug. It exploded on the door. Let's try that again. The bug explosions stay. They should be deleting themselves. I'll have to check the bug explosion prefab. Let me write that down. Okay. The lightning bug. So go around the wall. Go in and out of that just fine. No problem. So let's see here. This is the beetle. If we charge on into that. So he hits it like a wall. Even though it's a trigger. We'll have to make sure that he can't just charge into it and stop. We want them to charge right through. I'm trying to think of how we could stop that. I'm wondering if there's anything there that's considered a solid. Because nothing else should even have the collision on it. Yeah, that is a trigger. No collision. Yeah, nothing else should have a collision in there. We'll have to check the beetle script Let me open that. We'll check that out in a sec. After we check out the spider. The spider is able to walk through just fine. Interestingly enough. Why might that be? How is the spider different? It was the last one I did, so there were some steps I forgot to do, as it did take me a while to get it to work. The animations specifically. The electricity collision here. It's just remove current bug, so I think I need to check the selection manager and make sure that remove current bug accounts for the spider. Remove current bug. Current type, spider. Spider, destroy bug. Spider, destroy bug. This looks all the same. I did copy and paste a lot of it. So when it flips left, it disappears because I moved it off of the body. What's wrong with it? So the grasshopper does work. I moved the wrong spot. That's alright. Touches it, immediately explodes. Spiders destroy bug is public. Let's look at the grasshopper. Destroy bug, it's shorter. Destroy the game object with the destroy length of the sound. Same thing. Only difference is turning off the gravel hook and the line. Try the spider again. Because they are colliding, they would have to be. This is on the Bugbots layer. Collision is also on the Bugbots layer. Let's add a debug to this. Collision game object name debug.log collided with the name of the object. See if the spider even counts. That'll give us a good indication of where to start. Got a car alarm going on outside now. In the distance, but still. Let's hit play. Let's bring the spider to it. Spider. Okay, it says collided. Is the spider just not considered a spider? I'm trying to figure out what it would be. Spider has spider on it. Because on the selection manager, I do account for spider. Let me check the spawn buttons. Because when I spawn them, spawn the bugbot 3, spawn bot 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is doing it. Spawn bot. That's a spawner. This one. Spawn bot. Spider sets it to the selection manager. Adds the bug to the score. Changes what it's following. The spider is valid. The beetle is valid. Grasshopper is valid. What's it doing? Let's check this debug, not log. Let's make sure it's getting to the script. Removed bug. That game object dot name. Wait, I'm doing the tag. I don't think the spiders are tagged. Let me double check. Prefab bugbots spider untagged. Grasshopper lightning bug beetle add new spider. Spotter? No, that's not it. Spider. There we go. And this spider. Save. Back. Spawn. What happened? Forgot the semicolon at the end of this line. Keep hitting my mic. All right, what do we got here now? Spider. Are you considered a spider now? Yes. Move on over. There we go. Now that works. Now also the bugbot explosion prefabs stay after they explode. Let's make sure that's going away. I just realized I didn't even show bug exploding. Got spider. Spider into there and boom, there we go. Explodes on contact with that. So just for context, this puzzle would be solved by creating the lightning bug. Wrong one. The lightning bug. Here. It would walk up to the door. It would wait for something to press the button, press the door. It would go all the way across here. It would walk through the electricity. It would then... Well, it would need to charge up first on the pad. And then after charging on the pad, it would come over here. It would do its glow effect, which I need to make bigger so that way it's able to look like it's affecting more. And then that would blow up this panel, and this panel would turn into I don't have the broken panel in here, but the art is done for that, so I just need to be able to do that. But once you use that electricity discharge, it would turn this off. So then it would be the collision and all of these, except for the... Because it would basically be this, the box. The start and stop would be this, and this. Turn off. Along with the line renderer, like that. And then also the wires for this, right now they're set to have a speed. It'll be changed to 0, and then I would switch out the actual texture for one that is just completely black, so that way it wouldn't change. It would just be... Let's just say that, for argument's sake. I know it has a little bit of yellow in it, but that's not the point. So it would turn off all of that, and it would stop the flowing electricity so it doesn't look like it. But then after that, you would be able to take the grasshopper and just be able to walk on through, have one press the button here to wait, then you'd go through after the other one's pressing it, and you'd come up here and you would just... touch the end of the level complete. Then I need to make sure that when the level completes, it also turns off that whole UI, which in this case would just be touch controller, goodbye. And other options. And the spawn drop down. So I'll make sure I do that right now. Make sure I write that what their names are. Actually, I got them right there. I don't need to write them down. See, it's really coming together. We're getting there. Do our code here. Level complete animations. This is filling in the values. We actually go to level complete. We could put it inside of here. This is on the object itself. This calls the animations. We could do public game object. We'll use the touch controller first. We'll do public game object. Spawn menu. Do public game object. Other actions panel. So let's see where we touch that. The level is complete. Stop the player movement. Bring up the level complete panels. Turn off other UI. So we're going to do touch controller. Set active. It's false. We're going to do spawn menu. Spawn menu. Set active false. Nice. Nice. It's picking up what I want to do. Just going to add a space in between these so it's a little easier to look at. Go back here and look at this. So now we touch that level and it should turn off all of this UI, which this UI is not on if you're playing with controller as well, by the way. They would be mapped to different buttons. There is an option in the options menu to turn it on and off depending on if it turns off with what thing you're using. So let's just say we have this spider. We go all the way to the end. We touched it. I didn't set the variables. Side of this, we have our touch controller, spawn drop down, and the other actions. I'm actually just seeing if I need to do all three of those or if I could just turn off this. I might be able to just get away with that. Let me just rewrite the script real quick to just touch control canvas. touch control canvas false. Save that. I know I'm not showing it. That's all right. It's already done. Let's see what we got here. I need to set it on here. Touch control canvas. Turn that off when I touch that. Because it looks like I made a pause canvas, which is underneath canvases, but not underneath that touch control canvas. So we make a bug bot. Make it go on all the way over here, around everything. It touches the end. Everything else turned off. Level complete. Finish it in 5 seconds. Part time was 0 seconds though, so we didn't make it. Same with bugs used. It was also 0 and 1. But we did collect the bonus. I guess we saved that from last time. Which is good. We want to make sure they're saving. But we only want to make sure it saves when the level's completed. I'll double check that throughout. That's fine. Not much time left. Let's make sure that the just adding a note here about the saving to only save on level complete. Which I'm pretty sure I already do, but I just want to double check. Let's make sure that those prefabs, the explosions, go away after they're done playing. Let's see here. So we have the bits. I should have a destroy after a certain amount of time script. Let's see here. Doesn't look like it. Let's just call it destroy timed. I'm not quite exactly sure how to get the exact amount of time from 2 different particle effects going on to see how long I need to wait. It would just be comparing the 2 lengths, but I'm not quite sure how to get that. So instead, we're just going to go around it. We're just going to say public int time to destroy. We can leave start here. We're going to get rid of update. We could say private. If I can learn where the letters are, private void destroy timed. Time to destroy. Just be int timer. So when we do destroy timed, that's where we're going to put that in there. So destroy timed, we're just going to say destroy game object, comma, timer. Like that. What's this say? Can't name it the same as class. We're just going to call it destroy on timer. There we go. So after however much time we set on it when it first starts, it's going to just delete itself from existence. It's destroyed time onto that. Let's give it, I don't know, 5 seconds. Let's blow a bunch of stuff up. See if that works. All right, let's see here. We got the bug. Blew up. Got the explosion still here. And it's gone. Nice. Still there. And it's gone. Nice and simple solution to a not so big problem. It's creating it, so we're just getting rid of it. because we don't want to have 100 of those stack up. Spawning and deleting stuff can be an expensive computation, but we could eliminate that a little bit by having a pool of the explosions and then just reusing them. In this case, only one can explode at once. Maybe two if you were quick, but I guess if you really wanted to, it could be more, so I'm going to leave it the way it is, though. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. So I didn't actually show that. Let me just show that real quick. So we explode that, and we see that the explosion is still here, and it disappears after the 5 seconds. I want to throw out this sticky note, but it has a different note on it. I think that pretty much did all the stuff that I was planning on today, and more, of course, but still. Everything else is definitely going to take more than 13 minutes. Just taking a look through a couple notes here. Because I do want to make it so I, like, say this button here. It's attached to these doors, and how I made this flowing with the electricity like that, I wanted to make sure the buttons had something similar. But the buttons, I think it's going to be pretty similar, except for instead of the yellow line with that, I'm thinking maybe I just go with the red to be similar to that. And then I'm just trying to think of a good way to do it, since this button, I believe it's set up to be any number of pressure switch. Yeah, any number of doors. It's just a list or an array. It looks like a list. Actually, double check. It is an array, actually. I'm wondering if the tooltip shows up in the capture. It doesn't look like it. But either way, I'm not just going to push this forward for another 12 minutes so that way I can reach that 9 o'clock. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I'm going to put this VOD up on YouTube, and not quite sure when, but it will be going up. So you can count on that. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. Just trying to move screens around here. And I think I'm going to stream more games rather than making games, but that's all right. And hopefully with the next stream on Friday, it doesn't completely freeze my computer. That was totally a fun time, but no big deal. We got through it. So, like I said, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great one.